Hey everybody, it's Jim with Triple J Bricks. Welcome back to another video. I was thinking that I would like to start building some more of the old castle sets that I have sitting ready to be built. And I was thinking, well, this video is going to come out on Monday, March 4th, which happens to be the official release date of the medieval town square build, which I am so excited to get my hands on. So I figured, why don't we honor the release of that set by building its predecessor, the Medieval Market Village? Before we get started on today's video, as promised, I said I would thank all new channel members at the beginning of each video as they come in. So this week's newest member is Ren. Ren, thank you so much for your membership here on YouTube. I really appreciate the support. Let's add you to the brick pile. Appreciate it, Ren. Thank you. So I picked up the Medieval Market Village on Facebook Marketplace from a mom. Here we go, Medieval Market Village. This is bag number 1 of 2. I picked it up from a mom who was building, making sure all the parts were there, and then selling her son's Lego collection. And the Medieval Market Village was on there, and it was a great price. There is one fence piece that is missing, but I have a plan for what we can do in place of it, and it's not a huge deal. But everything else is here, and it's in really, really good shape. So let's get started. We have our 2 bags of parts and our building instructions, so we are ready to go. But before we get started, I wanted to show you this. So in the first step is they are showing that you shouldn't build or play with your bricks outside on the grass. You should build with them on a hard, flat surface. And then the second, which I've also never seen, keep in mind, I haven't really built a set this old in a very, very long time. This set came out in 2009. And my guess is, based on this image, that they were still not numbering bags yet, because it is showing that you should take all of the parts and separate them out into light colors, light pieces, things like that. And then I scrolled down and I did see that indeed there were no numbered bags. So I think it's actually quite fitting that we have no numbered bags. So in honor of that, let's separate out these pieces before we get started. Okay, we have all of our parts roughly sorted, and when I say roughly, I mean very roughly. But I'm going to immediately regret how I sorted this. This is just sort of like all the other things that I didn't pull out. But, you know, greenery and brick, and it'll be fine. It'll just take a little bit longer. I have minifig parts in here. Larger pieces are over here. I have some cylinders and then some like headlight bricks and things, but yeah, everything is roughly sorted. One thing I wanted to bring up, and it also has happened, let me see if I can find one. So prior to, gosh, I want to say they changed it in 2017. I could totally be wrong on that date, but I think it was 2017 that Lego changed the they changed their formula for the brown color, because up until then it was known as brittle brown, and for reasons like this. This window, top of this window is busted. The stud is just busted straight off like that. And then these cones and small studs have cracks and breaks in them. And yeah, there was something in the coloring that they used for brown parts that it was just brittle. They would break way easier than any other colored part. Lego actually changed their formula for brown, and now that doesn't happen anymore. So I knew that was the case going in. So the top of these specifically, those would get busted off just from taking them apart. And yeah, so there was already a couple pieces like that. I knew that was going to be something that would come up. Fortunately, I have parts to replace those. Those are not super, super unique pieces, but all of the minifigs, like I said, are here and everything. So we'll get building and take a step back in time. Okay, so a couple things with the minifigures. There's a little bit missing. So I am missing for the peasant, this peasant minifigure. She may have lost it, but it's just a regular smiley head that I got. And I'm supposed to have a varied one that has eyebrows. So that is missing. I also had to do some surgery on one of these figures because the legs did not have the black stripe on them. So I ended up, I had another pair of legs, and I was able to just kind of swap them out, so that is fine. Everything else looks okay. Another weird thing, though, is this head on this minifigure. I'm looking on Bricklink to kind of verify all this stuff, and it's possible that it's wrong, or maybe it's a misprint, but this figure here, she looks correct, except in the listing, she should have an alternate face print, and she doesn't. So, but it's the correct face that she has, so that's a little strange. So I can double check to see if I maybe have another head to replace that, but I am going to try to see if I can find the head for this peasant guy. I was not expecting to actually find it. I mean, I have a bunch of minifigure heads that I have, you know, sort of been collecting from bulk lots and different things like that. I actually have this head. Now, it's a little scuffed. Like, there's like some like poke marks, looks like pin marks in it, but I actually have the correct face print minifig for this guy. So that's good. I was not expecting to find that. As far as I'm aware and concerned, all these minifigures now are complete from this set. So let's keep building. Whew, okay, well, it is finally done. That took so long to do. You probably couldn't tell in the time lapse because I ended up cutting a bunch of stuff out and obviously condensing it way down, but it took a long time to build this. One, just kind of like finding all of the parts. I ended up having to open up Bricklink and sort of look at what color some of these parts were because the digital instructions were so bad. The color in the digital instructions was just terrible. It was so hard to see what actual color the certain parts were, especially when you're working with like black and dark grays and like the dark brown and stuff. It was very challenging. Also, on top of that, I ended up having to make a wanted list because I am missing quite a few parts. I'm actually a little disappointed because what was so strange is this seller, she, again, like I had said maybe earlier, she was kind of building all of her kids' old sets now that they're grown up and was selling them. And she sent me a photo that she had gone through all of the parts list, and she had told me that she was missing a fence piece. You can see back there, we're missing one of those, these black fence pieces. And she said that was the only thing that was missing from the set. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then when I got it, she missed quite a few others, including some incorrect minifigure parts, wrong heads. Not only that, but this sticker is missing. So I'm missing the sticker for this sign. And I'm also missing the sticker for, here, let me turn this around. There are two portraits inside of here, and I'm missing the sticker for that portrait as well. So yeah, not only that, there are quite a few other things that were missing. So I ended up having to make a wanted list, and these were actually the leftover parts. So I'm really glad I have my own parts inventory because for the most part, I was able to pull parts that I had. But like, on top of missing parts, I also had a bunch of broken parts. Now, I kind of figured this was going to happen. So these were kind of all the broken pieces, including those like rounded slopes in dark red. A lot of those were busted. Here, a lot of those were busted like right there, on the lip like that. So I had to replace those, but I had those in my inventory and that was fine. But what I didn't have in my inventory was this 1x12 in dark brown. And you can see that is busted. So that is supposed to go up here on this roof alongside that one. So I didn't have that. And then of course, you know, there was just a lot of like cracked jumper plate and a bunch of cracked studs and a bunch of cracked like cones and cylinders and stuff. So a couple of those things were broken. So I ended up having to make a wanted list. And I also made a wanted list for the sticker sheet, which was not cheap. I think it was like 18 bucks on Bricklink, but I want to make sure, like, if I'm going to have this set, I want to have 100% of it. And so, like, I'm missing some flowers that weren't in there and just a couple other pieces. So it just took a lot longer because not only did I have to, like, go find the parts in the inventory, but I had to make the wanted list. I had to go double check the instructions to see the color for certain things because I think she gave me, oh yeah, here on this roof, she gave me 2 dark gray slopes, 2 cheese slopes here to fill in this little bit by the chimney, but I think these are supposed to be black based on the instructions, but it's kind of hard to see. So again, you know, that's just, I think it's probably just a good sort of, you know, I didn't expect it to be perfect. It is an old set. You know, it's quite old. It's 14 years old at this point. And so I wasn't expecting it to be perfect, but you know, I'm a little disappointed that not all of the parts were present, especially since, you know, not only did she tell me she went through it, but also like circled on the parts list. So she knew what she was looking for, but I don't know. I'm gonna, you know, hopefully give her the benefit of the doubt. She was just missing pieces and wasn't lying to me, but you know, you never know. But something to be aware of when you're purchasing sets. The tricky part is when you get bags of parts like this, you know, again, like, I'm gonna sit there for, you know, 2 hours going through each part and going through the Bricklink list. I guess you could, but at the same time, there's a little bit of sort of trust there. And of course, it depends on the seller and all that kind of stuff. But Anyway, but it is built. It is here now, and I love it. It looks great. It was, you know, a fairly solid build. I mean, I'm not going to do like a full review on it. It is a very neat little build, and I'm really, really happy to have it. You know, it's not the most impressive build. This was still in an era when, you know, LEGO wasn't doing a super amount of detailing just yet. But, oh, the other thing that's kind of busted is I'm going to have to replace these windows. They are also attached, those are also in my wanted list to replace these because I don't actually have any of these curved brown windows. Because the studs on top of the windows have actually busted on like 3 or 4 of them. Because again, brittle brown. So I'm going to have to swap those out when I make an order for it. But yeah, it's a super, super cute, you know, super cute little build, and nothing super crazy, but it's really nice to have. It's like a piece of iconic LEGO castle history, and I'm really, really happy to have it because I am a nerd for castle stuff. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming along on this Medieval Market Village build. I really, really do appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to put together. I hope you enjoyed the video and the build as we prepare for the Medieval Town Square set that is releasing today on Lego.com, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. And so we built the predecessor, and I'm super, super glad to have it in my collection. Again, like a piece of LEGO castle history that I'm super happy to have and to display. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And remember, until next time, keep on building. Jim out!